right, and we are live. Welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with me tonight is my co-host, Techy Joe.
Hello.
Hello. How y'all guys been this week? How you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. It's actually been a pretty decent week.
It has. We had fun. I've been playing in the kitchen and out on the grill.
Like my giant day, or what I thought was going to be my giant day. And we've got Anna visiting.
Yes, we've got our guest producer, Anna, here.
Yeah, she's apparently going to fix your hair.
Yeah, working hair and makeup.
Well, yeah, basically. So my long crazy day that I thought was going to occur didn't happen.
I know.
The event that was supposed to occur, like this doctor's appointment nightmare scenario, like the doctor's appointment occurred, but apparently it's no longer a nightmare scenario. This doctor's office got this all day thing was crap.
Right.
So I've been dreading it, and then we were in and out in like a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
It was great. It moved quickly. You were home early. I was happy with all that.
Yeah, because like I even had thoughts of, I don't even know if we're going to get to do a show tonight if it's as bad as I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that I wouldn't be part of it.
I'd still do the show and just, I don't know, put Anna on stage.
Apparently.
She apparently likes it.
Yeah, it's Anna. Gotta love her.
You got a good dinner.
I did. You did some beautiful salmon.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to do it on a plank, and I got all fancy looking. Y'all guys liking me posting my dinners?
And hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. That's been more fun. I'm taking Instagram over by fun.
Yay!
Yeah,
well, that's sort of a good thing. That's a good thing. Like, there's a lot of overproduced content, and I know it's got to get tiring. And we've even had that discussion. Is the sales thing is kind of it sucks.
Right.
It does. At some points you just start to sit back and go I feel like a 24/7 salesperson that's here's my wares, here's everything I can do, for your business or professionally for you. Mm-hmm. And at some point, and I think everyone else is in the same boat too, I've gotten tired of that out of some of the people I'm friends with.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't want that. Or, you know what I mean? I'm more than happy to support your business one way or another, other people's businesses. And I think that's where everyone's at. It's I'm happy to support your business, but come on now.
Right. And, it's been a while. And a lot of times we do post a lot of, I have my daily stuff that, everybody wanted back, so I brought it back. But also, I've been posting pictures of the garden, pictures of the flowers, pictures of cooking. I'm getting a little bit more into the Instagram. I mean, because that took me a while to get there. Because it's do I really want to make it, because I'm used to doing a full photo shoot.
Right.
And it's just no, just grab a camera and go.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where a lot of the world is, though, is my point, is that, no, we're sick of the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Just snap some pictures. It'll be okay. You'll get better with time.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll look back on the early pictures and be like, weren't we all there once? Let me go with another thing real fast.
Mm-hmm.
I just found out. I always thought I sucked at photography. I really, truly, honestly did. And I know I'm doing better with the digital camera, and this is the first time in my life I've been feeling good about photography.
Yeah.
Let me back up and explain something here. What I just finally caught was I ended up and my family trying to get me into photography at the exact wrong moment in film history.
Mm-hmm.
that I basically went from that stupid 110,
Uh-huh.
like the big long roll, thing. I went from that, which is like a baby camera, because all of that stuff is cheap. And then my first like attempt to have a real camera was in that like early point and shoot era of APS,
Mm-hmm.
the advanced photo system.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I didn't realize how much that screwed a whole like generation of potential photographers.
Right.
Like who were trying to do like the nice camera but didn't want to go through the whole 35 millimeter, like, is it loaded, did I load it correctly, did I get it unloaded, did I, like, how did I screw this up, because that's really disheartening. Like, I briefly tried to use one 35 millimeter camera and I went, no, 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 no.
Right.
So I went with the APS system because auto loading, you'll never expose your print or your film, and it's a canister. Like, it seemed amazing. But getting into the technicals on that was a whole, like, Eastman Kodak disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bad idea. Fujifilm, Eastman Kodak, and another company were big on that.
Well, again, bad idea.
BFA. That was the one.
We just decided to give them a grant to make medicine. Kodak. Really?
Mm-hmm.
The company that can't make film or printers
Well,
successfully have now decided they can make pills.
Any port in a storm?
I think that it's more wastefulness and stupid people. Let's give the money to Bayer, who knows how to do it. Let's give it to other pharmaceuticals that know how to do it.
Well, Kodak's been struggling. They were once a domineering force in America,
Mm-hmm.
and in the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially in film and photography. And they kind of missed a couple of boats.
I missed a lot of boats.
Yeah, like it was a total. And right now, anymore, actually, Kodak is just a pretty little moniker.
Right.
Like, if I remember correctly, Kodak has been bought out, and like its trademarks are being used,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the same company.
Right.
It died. It's
Well,
kind of like the Sears versus Kmart debacle.
Well, they just bought like $2 billion to go make medicine.
Well, yeah. But no, it's kind of like the Sears Kmart thing. Is I think I, like a lot of other people, thought that it was Sears that bought Kmart, because suddenly we saw the Kmart logo dying and the Sears logo. And it was the other way around. Sears totally off the deep end, and Kmart, of all companies, is the one that bought them.
And now they're both going bankrupt.
Well, that's because Kmart tried to run Sears like a Kmart.
And it doesn't work. And they tried to run a Kmart like a Sears, and it doesn't work.
No, they never tried to run a Kmart like a Sears. That would have helped. But no, they tried to.
Clips.
Well, like, the Kmart thing wasn't working for Kmart before they bought Sears.
Right.
And so when you try to run Sears like a Kmart, oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Okay, we're getting ready to talk about a topic that I don't like talking about, but since it's been in the news twice today, I kind of think we're going to have to.
Oh, dear.
The demon sperm, the demon possession. Dear gods, we have gone back to the time of the Black Plague.
Yeah, like it's feeling like the Dark Ages out here.
That moon ain't even shining.
Yeah. So, local story before we get into the national one. Woke up this morning and I had to be up bright and early. Real early. For me. But anyway, there was this overnight story that popped into my feed overnight. This woman and her boyfriend apparently got drunk on wine coolers And he started talking about how he was Jesus, and she decided that his demonic possession had to end. So she shot his ass,
Mm-hmm.
totally admitted to everything, and is like, apparently, like, this is justifiable homicide in her brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she did nothing wrong.
She saved her community in 3
Oh,
countries.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And, like, they asked her when, like, okay, let's play with the crazy, but
We are.
we'll play along. And so the officers asked when his demonic possession started, and she, matter of factly, said 6 months ago. What? Like, that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot in an article to read. And I don't mean to throw off on mental health. Believe me, I don't. But I think we can all agree this sounds crazy.
Well, honey, it's more than crazy. It is so classical. Very classical during pandemics, during plagues, to have people start talking about demons and blaming it on supernatural forces.
The cat is not going to leave you alone tonight. What did you do?
I cooked salmon.
Is there catnip in like hair gel or something that you're using?
Oh, all I've got on is hairspray.
Did you fall? Oh, no, I know what it is. What did we have for dinner?
I just said it. I cooked
I know.
salmon.
Yeah, got it now. Sorry, I was processing. I was like, oh, you're covered in sand.
IBM 300.
Hmm?
Like an IBM 300.
Oh, give me System 32.
Barely. But anyhow. And
That's
then,
okay. That means, hold on now. Hold on. Stop. I only have one good tech joke for that.
uh-huh.
At least it means I have an 8-inch floppy. But
Exactly.
I'm king and moving along.
Actually 16-inch.
No, it had 8-inch floppies.
Uh-uh.
System 32 did.
No, before that was the 16-inch.
There wasn't a 16-inch floppy.
Yes, there was. They were the size of the damn records.
Yeah, that's an 8-inch floppy.
Okay.
Yeah. Dinner plate size floppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, those were
A thing.
yes. So yeah, crazy Dr. Demon Seaman Lady. Wow, say that 5 times fast.
Okay. So let's back it up. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot to dig into here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to be digging in too long because I'm tired of talking about it. But, so there's this group that does a press conference on the steps of the Supreme Court. Here's the fact. Any group can have a press thing on the steps of the Supreme Court. But these doctors, all dressed in very bright white lab coats, appear up saying they're on the lines of the first responses, protecting America. Okay, this group's website was created 12 days ago.
Yeah.
Not 2 years, not 4 years, not 9 years, and surely not 20 years. And there's this crazy kook doctor from Nigeria.
Which, hey, doctors from anywhere in the world are an amazing thing. That's not our problem.
The problem is that she's touting this drug that the World Health Organization, the French, the British, the Italians all said doesn't work.
And we point out that was not just a arbitrary conclusion made by any of those organizations. That's science-based. That is fact-based. That is following cases and seeing what happened. Like, there was serious consideration there that this drug would help. and it was evaluated, and it doesn't, and in some cases actually made people worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the really big part of that,
Mm-hmm.
is that that for some people it did not harm them, it didn't help them,
Right.
and for others it's ultimately hastened their deaths.
Right.
So
So,
moving on.
of course, she's not a known person. And it pulls up that she's a minister. Interesting. And then it pulls up all this other stuff, like women's gynecological problems are served from demon spawn, having sex with demons and witches. And I'm like, really? The world is being controlled by reptilians. Like,
Yeah,
this
that
needs a mental health check today.
well, it to me, like, and again, I know we walk a fine line with that sometimes.
I don't
Well, I do.
What is nuts?
Well, like, pause. I walk a fine line sometimes with the idea of, reconciling. I'm an atheist. Other people are religious. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going, okay, generally speaking, as long as your beliefs are not harmful unto others, go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Go with it. I I'm cool with that. And as are most atheists, just side note. Like, we really don't do the knock on your door, have you heard about, atheism? Have you, here's a science textbook. That's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But in respecting religious belief, I'm, as are most, okay, fine. Like, I do not believe the same way. I have many issues with religion. All religions, side note, just we're not attacking one. But generally speaking, if it is non-harmful to others, I'm fine, whatevs. But yeah, no, the place she's at is like gonna harm others.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely harming others.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start talking about sex with demons,
And he freezes. All right. So I want to continue talking about this. One, sex with
back
demons,
in,
major mental
there
illness.
we go. Hi.
There you are. Welcome back.
Yeah. Sorry. So repeating the conversation. So yeah, no. Like, where I'm at is, there's that whole issue of when typically we see things like, being brought up as, an affliction to be dealt with religiously. That's when we start seeing stories of exorcisms and what different religious leaders have done in that realm. From the more like holy water benign to, as in, it's holy water, it's not going to kill you, unless it's a vat of it and you're being dunked in it. That has potentials. But in other situations where there's sexual abuse, where exorcism is like an open door for sexual abuse, for starvation, for beatings, for all kinds of abuse and neglect.
And none of this is surprising to me with the current vice president. Can we just bring up his record of craziness? But anyhow, moving on with it, also,
Yeah.
you have this all going in. I'm looking at this going, dear gods, how many people is she killing on a daily basis? Like, someone in Texas from the board of doctors, she's obviously not AMA, needs to go down there and audit her for deaths.
Well, but here's the thing, though, and Shannon brings up a good point. And her point was, I feel like she was making the claims to bring attention to her ministry and make herself feel important from the sort of attention she would be getting from making that claim. And that's where we've kind of got to go back to the words, never let a good tragedy go to waste.
Right.
I think we're seeing a lot of people do exactly that, that there is literally this callous disregard for human life
Mm-hmm.
In lieu of money.
Right.
And opportunities to make money and to generate followers and to
Right.
generate donations and to grab headlines and to make oneself a leader in a field. So yeah, I do think that's a large part of this, is that we're seeing her and others.
A large part of it, it's craziness. Like
Mhm.
Texas is losing thousands of people a day, and we got this person, I won't give her the classification of doctor, that just reminds me of, it was one of the crazy mentally ill people on a street corner calling it the second coming of Christ, which I hope it is. Please get them out of here.
So doomsday corner preachers.
Yeah.
Sorry, just that's how I know them.
Yeah. Doomsday
But
corner preacher is what she is, being touted as the new leader. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci, he at least knows what the hell this is.
But there's elements here that we've been seeing for years of conservative groups. We'll call them that for the moment. Conservative groups being formed out of thin air with very official sounding titles.
Mm-hmm.
They've been using this for political action committees, for running ads, for campaigns, for creating counter research to on various issues, on having a voice in a discussion in which real professionals, real associations are making statements and citing research and data and are trying to push not an agenda, guys. I know y'all are good, but come on. It's not pushing an agenda, it's trying to push the truth, to get it out there so that there is scientific backing behind things. And then you see this counteraction. Is we create, like an academy of, or they create an academy of physicians. Sounds very formal, and it's only existed for like a hot minute.
Right.
And it's made up, it's just a conservative think tank. Like, we found a bunch of people who will sign off on this crap that have semi-related titles that sound good, that will go spread the message. And it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, totally ridiculous. Totally bullshit. And, here's the harder part of this, is now we've got a president, unfortunately, that'll believe anything that'll make him money. And I am quite sure that the Trump Foundation has financial backing in that drug. They either own a patent, they own an ingredient, something. Secondly, it's like, really, you will go and find anyone else? Oh, just, the normal demon sperm doctor who now thinks that she's number one, and, it's all caused by witches and demons.
And we're talking about COVID-19 right now, Donna. Like, and he's not kidding. This is a legit news item.
Right.
Like, we wish we were making this shit up.
Exactly.
Like, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and now, since, thank God for social media, stripping it off Twitter, stripping it off of Facebook, stripping it off YouTube, every news site is just pulling this out like bad tomatoes. as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's calling for Facebook to crash.
You know, with everyone at home, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already. Because even Facebook has to be going, oh, crap. But yeah. No, it's, yeah. The news gets a little weirder every single day of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, we're very grateful then it is not the actual cure.
Yeah.
Yeah, hydrochloroquine, yeah, no. Or whatever. I never have been good at saying that one because I think I get it wrong every time.
Yeah, we ain't doing that because that's been recommended to me for ages. And I'm like, no, thank you. My heart already is good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it kind of brings up the old gambit that I've been warning and talking to pagans about forever. Wrote a lovely article on why we need to be stopping this bullshit. Like every pagan in America ought to be pissed off whenever claims are made like this. Because one, demons aren't that active. They really take on bigger problems. They really, don't have much to do with us. We don't have much to do with them. And I'm getting tired of us being chained into it. Every freaking plague is the witch's fault or the demon's fault, or put them together.
Yeah, but then you've got to turn around and within your field, like kind of bringing it back to the psychic coffee shop, within your field, there are psychics that run around claiming everyone has, like, they'll walk up to anyone going, you have a demonic attachment. You have, blah, blah, blah. You've been hexed.
I know. And it's like, no. First of all, if you've pissed off a witch enough to get hexed, I ain't messing with
You're
it.
not fixing it. Like, no. We're not getting into that. You need to go review your life choices and find a way to make amends. That's how you fix it.
Exactly.
Because there's some caveats to that. Is that's not a thing you want to go playing with generally on the witchy side. So if you've gone there, either one of two things has occurred. One, you deserved it because you have done something very deserving. Two, TikTok and witch talk has created problems in your life, and just know that there's probably a lot of people suffering on your behalf for that hexing. So take a little comfort.
Right. This running around, and I get so tired of them. Because as soon as they start doing that, I start looking at the person going, nope. So here's my theory and my prescription to everyone that thinks that they've been hexed. Go find you a nice red brick on your property. Piss on it. Take it off your property. Then go take a bath in salt water. You want a proportion of about 2 cups to a tub of water. And stay there till it gets cold. And every time you think you've been doing that, do it again. Because I promise you, if a witch hexed you once, they'll hex you again.
Well, there's that. But yeah, like, I just don't get how this has become such a, like, conscious fear.
Right.
That's the problem I have. Because I've seen this come up religiously in a few different places. Like, there's a lot of misunderstanding of witches, and then that ends up playing into other religions,
right?
And the things that they think are going on in the world.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, quite frankly, starts making Harry Potter look a little pedestrian.
Well, it was, but true.
Well, granted, but you see what I'm saying is that, like, it's heralded as the worst, like, introduction to witchcraft and horror, blah, blah, blah. Like, it'll steal your child's soul.
Oh, please.
Um,
Speaking of a Witch, 1976 by Alexander Saunders.
well, there's that.
That's the
But
better version
you
of
get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying, though. Is that, like, there's a lot of, like, wow,
it. Right.
really? Like, we're going to go there. And sorry, guys, if you keep hearing the dinging. I, of course, got ready to start the show, and Windows wants to apply an update.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently that has to happen at least once a week to me.
But, and it's just so ridiculous, some of the things. But this kind of leads us into working as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, 1, I'm a witch, 2, I'm a psychic, 3, I'm a life coach, 4, I'm a house bear.
Mm-hmm.
You're a technologist, you're an atheist, and, you do a lot of fun photography stuff and other things.
Yeah.
So we work together constantly.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of your tips other than don't mess with my holy water?
Actually, you brought up your holy water. All I'm going to say is I would like a warning on when you're making holy water so I can get the holy hell out of here. That's just me personally. Others, your mileage may vary on that one. But no, I think a lot of what we're able to do is understanding. Like, this is your strength, this is mine. This is, what I'm bringing to the table. This is what you're bringing to the table. And I think for a lot of couples, that's a struggle. And it's not like we just magically figured that out.
No.
That wasn't like I got it now. Like, hi, okay, here's how we instantly compliment.
Right.
No, that's a struggle, and you got to work through that, and you got to be paying attention for that, and getting it.
Right. The other thing I want to say, especially with some things, you've been very exploratory. I mean, now you've took a candle magic class. You understand why I say leave my candles alone.
Well, yes.
You've took a scrying class and now carry your own scry in your wallet. You have your own tarot deck.
I do.
Yeah. So you've been very accommodating to a lot of my needs, but I've also been a lot of respect in yours.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done spell work when you're awake. I've made supplies for spell work when I needed them, but we have one stove in the house. I haven't woke you up with smoking out the house in sage, which, by the way, sage doesn't kill corona. Get over it, people. We don't even know what kills it yet, herbally.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of things that we've done differently, or things that we've had to work through. Because our hard spots was really you learning that at 2:30 you need to go to bed.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
But no, and then also, like, because again, and we've said on the show, our biggest fight was over a tree.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to think there for a minute because I'm like, well, the renegotiation was kind of big.
No, the biggest fight was the tree.
Yeah.
That was an actual, like, this was going to get ugly. But and what that mostly came down to was two different, like, things going on. It wasn't even, like, directed at each other.
Right.
I grew up in a construction family, and if you're going to dig a hole, you got to call a phone number first. Like, that is set in stone. It is a literal, like, there's no turning that off for me. I can't help it. Like, it is no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're digging into, and you at least. Well, but again, like, because a lot of times people think they know what they're digging into, and then you find out that there may be structures there that you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
That, it, or more importantly, at least you're covered if you find structures no one knew about.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of utilities, if you happen to hit something that isn't on a map that they didn't know about, if you don't call and
Mm-hmm.
they, come out and mark what they knew, they
Mm-hmm.
will try to put you on the hook for things no one knew about.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even know where they were.
However, is one, I don't like the utility companies that much to come on my land. And two, we had replaced the water line, the gas line. I knew where they were. We dug them. I know where all the other utilities are on the land because I've been here for 30 some years.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just an automatic. It's like, okay, we're going to plant a tree. Do, 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 do. Hello. Like,
I done told you we don't need to do that. You're inviting trouble into my property.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like that was a big thing, though.
Yeah.
Is because, but again, from two different sides, is you're like, I've been here for 30 years. I know where everything is. I'm not about to plant a tree on a gas line. And you're like, I know better. I know where it's at. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just Pavlovianly
Mm-hmm.
going along with dig hole must call. Dig hole must call. Like, it's ingrained. It's like, I heard dig, I hit.
Yeah.
That's
But
where
at the same time, I'm like, we're not digging a hole 30 feet in the ground. I know where this shit is. Don't you at least fucking trust me when I say something?
And it wasn't about trust. That was the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. It was two different sides. You saw it as a trust issue.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just, I'm trained.
Yes.
I'm trained.
You're Pavlovally trained. It's like when we go to a restaurant, you'll order what the big picture is.
Not always. Sometimes I just like that.
999 times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, see, that's where I'm talking about with, Shannon. What she's saying is Suddenlink tried to make her landlord pay for a line they didn't mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that happens. Seriously happens, is even utilities have some really screwed up maps.
Right.
And you can get stuck. It's to me, and why I'm always a big proponent of call before you dig, is that this is one of your protections, is that, hey, I tried to do the right thing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
But that's your point of view for someone that doesn't own land, that hasn't known the land. And it's like, no, get them the fuck out of my land. I don't want them here. They're going to cause problems. And they did.
No, they didn't. They just marked a line, or marked a few lines. I mean, we argued if that's the problem you're talking about, but they just marked the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it delayed us.
Delayed the growth of the tree. Oh, and I don't know, when they came back up, they wanted to create more issues with the gas line, and because they had to move we've now determined they've had to move the gas line.
Okay.
Because if they hadn't, I would have took it out digging.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, that was just where I was at, and it looks like MG has a question. Ready for that one?
Yeah, we'll take that one.
All right. MG's date of birth is 2/20/82, and says that I get afraid to sleep at night because of all this demon stuff that I've learned growing up. Do I have anything to worry about as far as me having evil spirits around me?
No. MG, you don't. Are you a world leader? Can you impact the lives of hundreds, thousands? No.
I think MG's actually asking for a legit reading.
Well, I understand that, and I'm doing one. I'm just not showing the cards off.
Hey.
But no. This idea that there's evil spirits around attacking people, not that often. One, you ain't big enough. And I'm confirmed totally with the tarot that is all major arcana that shows that you feel alone and left out a lot in your childhood. You're now overcoming that, and part of that message is the strength card, which is you need to overcome your mind there and look at the programming and go, no, not working, not correct.
Okay. So basically take those things that were most likely used in your past to control your behavior and shit test them.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you just got told, is you need to start shit testing.
Like
you got to take these ideas and go, okay, what could possibly be valid there? Why does it exist?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the intent? And does that apply to you?
Of evil spirit originally was the theory that humans didn't know there were germs. We just had a clear idea that there was something, they couldn't see it, in the air. Christians ran off with this, let's control the evil spirits. Well, no, it's germs. It's like if you get a cold, yeah, you're going to think I'm roasting a turkey. If you get a cold, you're going to think that I cooked way too much onions. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the air products. The sage in itself has been proven to attach to germ and kill germs. Germs, not viruses. Onions have been proven to absorb, and this is the reason you can't keep an onion in the fridge unless it's contained, bacteria. Way back, let's go back about 300 years. That was seen as there was an evil spirit around you or an evil spirit in the house. And you needed to cleanse that with, I don't know, sage, onions, garlic, mustard. I don't know how many times people put mustard packs on people. It has nothing to do with collecting bringing out the evil spirits. It actually kills the germs.
Oh, yeah. But no, well, and then there's other instances where this is actually used even more so to control, like, teenage behaviors.
Right.
Like premarital sex, drug use, television watching, music choice, all of it. And that basically the entire world is an evil place, and you're trying to save this child's soul from all the demons that are trying to get into them through music, through television, through sex, through anything that is arousing, through drug use, through a number of things.
Right.
And all of that is effectively this. It's a very hard fairy tale to overcome. Like, it's a challenge. Like, no one's saying this is easy, and I know it's hard to hear, but a lot of it was basically meant to work at a childhood level and create a monster in a closet that, keeps you from getting out of bed at night.
Right.
And it works, but then there's the fallout, is this creates like a lifelong instability. Is that you instill in this person fear that has to be overcome.
Right. It's the same thing as you wouldn't think to send your 8-year-old out to work an 8-hour day. I mean, that would be horror in this country.
Right. Well, but back up, 100 and little extra years, and it was perfectly normal. But at the same time, we're also seeing the horrors of what that was.
Right.
Of, maimed, harmed, abused, exploited children, and created child labor protection.
Right.
Because it was indefensible to do this to children. Like, we finally woke up to it, that this isn't a thing we can keep doing.
Right. And MG, there's a lot of support groups out there for formal Jehovah Witnesses and Jehovah Witnesses children. Please check them out. There's a lot of stuff there that's a lot of emotional baggage that needs worked out. They can be extremely holding you back from really being happy with you. Because, there are some groups out there, Jehovah Witnesses, the Bethels, Branch Davidians, that are very controlling, very mind setting. I mean, I once met a Mormon, and that poor Mormon was so afraid to drink coffee that they about passed out when they saw me walk in with my 62-ounce jug for a shift. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're going to die." And it's like, no, this is a shift's coffee.
Yeah. Well, and then even the more, like, so to speak, mainstream Christianity, like Southern Baptists, have really kind of ramped into that demonic Satanist mindset.
Right, because
Like they're seeing this work. Like other religion or other denominations, other religions are seeing this work, and they're starting to pull it in.
right. Because again, they're losing control. Their coffers are going down.
Yeah. So again, never let a good tragedy go to waste.
Sure. And it's kind of weird, sitting here looking at religions and seeing all the inflictions that have gone on, and how much plague spreading is on there, and I'm wondering what the end result will be.
Okay. Sorry, I may have missed. I'm struggling to connect your dots there.
Okay. Controlling religions are Southern Baptists and Pentecostals, and all these are more laying on hands, more praying, no mask wearing, not following guidelines, having outbreaks. Literally, they've connected like 100 of them to one church in Lewis County. They're continuing to find this. I'm wondering what the long-term effects are going to be on the religion, because we saw a lot of this, and if you look at the Black Plague in connection with religious growth, that's where we get the Lutherans out of it. When we look at the 1920, 1918 influenza spread, and then look at the result of it afterwards, which was the big separations of the churches and this large opening of spiritualism and spiritual camps and large openings of new experimental religions, it stems to cause cultural changes. And some of these religious affiliations have been holding on by fibers.
Right. But on the flip side, you also have the fact that a lot of the religious groups that are very about that kind of, you must be here every whatever day, or every time the doors are open, or you have to do this 4 times a day, or you have to, religions that have that, right now, the respectful churches or respectful individual houses that are closing are losing some of that control. Because a lot of it basically backs into this constant re-indoctrination.
Right.
That becomes a lot of why there's that requirement.
Very much so. But, I think that it's going to be interesting watching the next 10, 20 years of the effect of this.
Well, I think it could go either way, is that you could either see what you're talking about, which is the resurgence of religion, or the death of it.
Some have died out. Some have splintered off. There's been it's not a resurgence of religion. It's more so a drastic change, because post the Black Death, we only had the Catholic Church as a Abrahamic Christian religion. You were either Catholic or you were nothing. After the Black Death, we began having, we had the Lutheran doctrine, which split off into multitude of Protestant churches.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well, because what I'm actually fearful of is, judging by the news, this may end up turning into a lot of sort of the weird.
Right.
Like, not like your typical, like, okay, so now, like, it's not just Baptists anymore. Now we have Southern Baptists. Or now we have, this. But actually, like, the formation of whole new groups. And this kind of, so to speak, the Dr. Stella Emanuel approach of wild and audacious claims.
Right. By the way,
Creating,
about biblical standing. That's the scarier part, is the biblical standing on all of this is insane. There's only one mentioning, actually, there's no mentioning of witchcraft in general in the original, the Greek, the Latin, or the Sanskrit Bibles. There was one mentioning in the New King James Version, but he was drastically scared of witchcraft. And that's when he changed the word from poisoner to witch. In that story, there's actually stories of the apostles consulting witches. One of them being Abraham. Going to a medium to have Abraham brought back to tell of the battle to come. So it'll be interesting. I think that we may start seeing a lot more digging in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, again, from my perspective, it could go the total opposite way. And, like, religion has been declining. All religion has been declining. Over the last couple of decades, that we're seeing fewer and fewer people, like, buy in. And I'm personally am curious if what's actually going to happen is you're going to see, like, generationally, like, older than us are going to entrench harder. Younger than us are going to flee faster and go, wait a minute. Like, what the hell, guys? Like, there was a pandemic. You still had us showing up. We watched numbers of our group die. And especially in the more, so to speak, lifelong religion. Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, those very, in out. Like, choose one.
Right.
Like, it's not a show up, when you feel like it, like Easter and Christmas. It's you're either in it or you're not.
Right.
I think you're gonna see a lot of that get shaken.
Right.
Like, I think that tree's gonna shake hard.
I think a lot of it will be. All right. So, tips for working as a couple: separate relationship conversation with work conversation.
And I'd say that's one thing we sometimes struggle with.
Well, we do. For me, it's, if I have to tell you something as a boss, you get it in an IM from what we call the Valentine's Day photo.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to you as hubby, we use my private profile or other means of communication. But we've never had to be that, unless I'm at an event, I've never had to be that, all right, I need the report on keen data and clicks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but there's also sometimes, because we're on flip schedules. Like, I'm basically a day shifter. You're essentially a night shifter. We sometimes do have a struggle there
of communication.
Right. Just out of the fact that, like, I'm starting my day as you're ending yours and vice versa. So, like, and I will say that, like, I've sometimes had that moment where it's like, I'm going to bed and you're like, okay. And by the way, business. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because, like, I was here, doing the heavy eye thing, and now it's like, oh, business. Okay, now I have to have a thought and opinion. Okay, let's go.
Right. Normally,
like,
anymore. That's where you're getting an email at joseph@aesonknight.com. You need to hand this. Or
yes.
I need this, this, and this by this date. The other thing is having two different workspaces. Now, in the old house, we had one workspace. Basically, we lived on the front porch, but that's neither here nor there. Here, we have two different workspaces, and it's much benefited us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have your workspace that you can go and work over there, or you can turn around and work on the table. I have my office. When I'm not in my office, I have one of my other spaces.
Right.
Because we have two different test styles. We have two different ways of managing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have two different workflows, two different work speeds. He will take 3 days to do something. I will take 2 hours and go, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes that's because some of the things I do require more digging.
Right.
Like, a lot, and I'm not throwing off, these are both good things. They're not bad things. I'm detail oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You're more, what do I got to do to finish this?
Right.
Like, what is it you're after?
Right.
And a lot of that comes from, how you, in general, work as a network psychic. Like, you don't have 3 days to dig into a caller or a reading. Like, it's in and out. Like, 5, 10, 12, 20, 30 minutes. That's all you got with this person.
Well, that's all I need.
Right.
I mean, sometimes if you booked appointments for me that are 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm on there for 5, and they get the reading they need, and I'm done. Because I don't do fluff and pompous and, oh, let me see what my guides are telling me, which we'll be talking about those a little bit tonight. I don't do that crap. My guides don't need that. They get annoyed when I do that. I get annoyed when I do that. And, they get, even more pissed off, like, we don't even want to be told that we're here most of the time. And that drives me crazy. But there are some things that you do really amazing and really quick, and there are some things that I'm glad you take 2 weeks to do. But I make it clear on when I need this. Do I need this today? Do I need this by August 1st? Do I need this by July 30th?
Yeah.
Or is it just a, hey, just letting you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is staying and giving each other space. We're a day-night shift team. So, 3 o'clock, I'm like, why are you up? It's full moon. I got shit to do. Get your ass to bed.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But no, and then the other part of this, and probably most important for any two people that are co-working at home in different or even the same field, or as in the same business or in separate businesses, is also the realization that love you as much as I do, I get sick and tired of seeing your face.
Yes.
Go away.
Yeah.
Not just to a different room, out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Get out. For me, that turns not as much right now, but typically would also be like, I have client calls.
Mm-hmm.
I have to physically get in a car and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't do it from here. There's nothing I can do remotely. I don't have a robotic assistant I can ship to you and tell you to plug in. Like, it's a thing I have to physically touch.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, or were, a lot of opportunities where it's like, hey, I've got this, 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 and this. And I've got to be in, this place or that place to go do them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a fair amount of that, and vice versa. There's, I'm sure, times that you're like, no, really, I'm going to the store.
Yeah.
And I've learned to read that as, I don't have a client that physically needs my presence, but I need to get away from your face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Not so much now. Before this, not so much because, you're basically in tow. But no, it's like, I'm going to the garden. Bye. Like, no, I don't need you out here, or yeah, I need you out here. Being very clear and honest with your communication, both in your work and in your relationship. And looking at him going, why don't you go watch TV? Why don't you go, I don't know, don't you have something to do? And also getting used to you two having two different domains and two different ideas. You know, me, I'll stay up till like 11, 12 o'clock in the day working on something or working in general. And he'll look at me like, it's Sunday. I don't do anything on Sundays. And I'm like, then go watch TV. And yeah, it gets frustrating because I go constantly. And that's me. Yeah.
No, for me, it's not just that I don't do anything on Sundays. It's that sometimes I know that's maybe the only day in that week I've got.
Yeah.
So I do try to schedule downtime because otherwise Joe becomes a very unhappy IT guy.
Right.
Because quite frankly, and I've said this before, and I think I horribly hurt one client's feelings because she realized how much that statement applied to her. And I felt so bad. It wasn't mean, but it's like, I'm IT. No one calls me because they're having a good day and everything's working properly. Like, that's not
more than IT. Yeah, now you're more than IT. I mean, because you're my first assistant. You're, my business manager. If we look at the other company, your customer service and appointment booking, and all that rolls into those titles.
Yeah.
And sometimes chauffeur and sometimes roadie, depending on what. And I think that's a lot of people's problem is they don't understand that my job isn't this nice little bullet list of this is what I do. My job is like 40 different pages of what I do. But that's I have like 40 different projects going on. I have a Bear Can Cook going on right now, which if you've watched Instagram, I'm sure you're enjoying. But, those are just different things that I do. And you've adapted really well. Of course, you say that my life is an unbridled chaos. And it's like, no, I have a plan for everything. I'll do something. I don't make junk. This came up with a missed computer meeting, and the customer asked why I stopped doing something. I said, because this is the impact it's having on your business.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't send memos out.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be a little, like, I will say that was a moment in that meeting that I'm sitting here going, I thought we talked about this, and I thought you were going to restart that, and I'm like, to be honest, I was having a moment there. I was like, what? Because, yeah, I didn't get a memo.
Yeah.
And so I was having a moment, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to let this ride and see where the conversation goes. And you did what you did, and you pulled the numbers, and we're all looking at it going, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. It's like,
no, you're not wrong. I got it. Good choice. I'm there.
A meeting over 15 minutes with me is useless. This could have been handled in email.
Well, and now that's one of those things that we agree heavily on. I'm not a long meeting person. Like, I struggle with those. And that's a really old habit of mine. That goes all the way back to the early 2000s. I had sat through a few long meetings. And what I ultimately noticed is that they weren't all that effective.
They're not.
Cases. I'm not saying getting people together as a group to like brainstorm is bad. That's different.
Right.
That's different. You don't need necessarily one of those per week on everything or a month or whatever. That's like specific to a project or to a single thing. And those, and if you do it that way, those are typically like 30-minute meetings.
Right.
You're brainstorming ideas and you're letting the creativity flow. But like the status update, I firmly believe that a status update meeting is 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't even think it's that. It's 5. The rest of it can be handled in email. There is literally no reason to have a 15-minute, a 30-minute, an hour-long meeting to go over things that are on a calendar. That's what Google Calendar's for. To go over something you want to change. That is a simple email done.
Well, it can be. Sometimes things need discussion, and I get that. But I'm also a big proponent of pull it to the side, like deal with the people that are part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm not part of it, in the most part, all I need to know is that it occurring.
If it occurred.
Occurring. But I go back to that from my UNCG Pride days.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I just need a status update.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a list of things we're working on. Are you good? Are we on track? Do you have everything you need? What's going, and do we have dates for that? Do we have times for that? Do we have people for that? Do we have, that was what I was looking for. And it took me forever to get that out. This is not me trying to publicly humiliate you.
Mm-hmm.
This is me trying to, in 15 minutes, get everyone on the same page.
And that can be handled with one group email and a form. Here's the form. Boom, done, over with. We move on.
I don't know. I always liked it as like a quick, like in-person thing, because even then, people that like, I never check my email, I never respond to email, or if I reply to that email.
My organization.
Do what now?
That you aren't part of my organization. If you can't check your email, I ain't got time for you.
Well, but again, at that point, like I didn't have control over my people in that respect. Like I couldn't just look at someone and be like, you're fired. These, we were all elected officers. But my thing was, I just want 15 minutes to run the list and go, where's my problem spots? Like, who do I need to talk to? Or are you good and you got it handled? You are amazing. Thank you so much. Or are you struggling over here? Do I need to put my attention here?
Right.
Okay, great. See me, later this week, or I'll email you and we can talk about it, or I'll call you and we can talk about it. Because what I had run into walking into that organization was that a lot of stuff was either being thrown out as ideas, like we should do this and we should do that and we should do this and blah, blah, blah. And the board was expected to take all those ideas and do them. And I'm like, no. I don't have time to like pick up your universe and carry it for you. Now, come to me with a plan, come to me with a budget, come to me with volunteers, come to me with a space, come to me with time. Like, that's what most things need.
Sounds like a simple email. Oh, you didn't get it in? Oh, well, move on. Next project.
Not what I mean. Is that if you're wanting to do something, it typically involves those items. Okay, I don't need you to have all of them. I need you to know what you need. And we were struggling with that for a long time. Of trying to communicate. I don't, like, one, I can't do all this for you.
Right.
At the same time, I can't help you if you don't know what you need to make this occur. Like, if you're going to put it out there, okay, work it. That's cool. That sounds amazing. will gladly approve anything. Like, we will gladly support you. Here's the problem. I need to know what you need. I can't just have people, and that's what Pride had become, people throwing out ideas and then getting frustrated because we didn't do all those things. And
well, it's like, what it's become and what it sounds like, and this is an issue I don't put up with in the organization I'm in, is not taking ownership for your own shit.
Right. That was exactly what went wrong.
Yeah.
Is there was no ownership. ideas. It was just the throw it out there and then get pissed. And I'm talking about college students here. Hi, hello, old enough to know better, still too young to care. Getting pissed because they weren't getting what they wanted.
Right.
And I'm like, you're not understanding how to get what you want. I'm not your servant. I can't do all of it.
Right.
But if you can get me some idea what you need, we can start plugging holes. You need money? Let me see what I got in the budget, or where I can get money from, or who I can contact. But I need to know an amount.
Right.
You need people? We can solicit people. I can't guarantee you're going to get all of the people you need. You're going to have to work towards that so that we know there's a cutoff here. That if you can get your people, you can't do it.
Right.
Space. What do you need in space? Like a big space, a little space? When do you need it? How long do you need it? How much is that going to cost? I can help you.
Right.
Was my whole point. And it's like, I just need 15 minutes with that entire board to go, where are you on these? Like, you threw this out here, you're going to take this on. Where are you? What do you need? What do you need? Or are we good to go? Good to go? We're good to go. Awesome.
The duo that we have, I'm the type, like, you either own it or I'm moving on. It's like right now I'm waiting to hear back from an interview. I'm not contacting them again. They've got my availability.
Yeah. They have everything they need. Work with.
Exactly. They have my press kit. They have my availability. They can figure it out.
Hi, Glenn.
So Mountain Bears actually brought up a topic, and I've glanced at this, but not really talked about it. Was my view on guides. Apparently, there are a lot of views out there on guides. I tend to go with the old spiritualist view of guides, which, if you think of mission control.
Okay, Angel, we just need your date of birth.
Yeah, Angel, date of birth. I view guides kind of like mission control. We came down here to learn something, experience something, complete our soul school, whatever marketing title you want to lay on it. Guides are there to make sure we get it done. They're like public assistants. My main guide is David. He's the one that does, and this is putting this in earthbound terms, he's the one that goes and gets your videotape, brings it to me, puts it in a VCR, and says, here's what they need to know. This is the span of time you're looking at, 2.5 years or whatever. Then he goes for the next one. You know, I have other guides to help with mediumship. I have guides to help with that type of thing. Nobody's guides are their grandmother, their aunt, their uncle that's crossed over. That's something totally different. Guides are a specific species that normally came to Earth. And if they have, they were here for a little time and then gone again, and move forward with that. So, while I'm shuffling, what do you know about God?
What do I know?
Yeah.
I know very little.
Okay.
I don't. Like, that was never, like, a big thing. Like, I'm sorry, the churches I went to would have honestly have called that, like, demonic possession. You're hearing voices. You're crazy. So, no, I didn't grow up with that. That wasn't like a huge thing. But now I know we've talked a little bit about your guides and like how that process works. And like, gonna have to forgive me, sometimes I glaze on that one. Like, okay. Maybe a little lithium in his coffee might silence the guards. But,
no, lithium actually has a weird effect on me.
Oh, God, you've actually tried. Okay.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and read Angel.
Yeah, go ahead and read Angel.
Okay, so 5'11 of 88. Hey, I have to ask, did my cat really go missing out the window, or did the people I was staying with do something to her?
I get that she went missing out the window. Um, and here's why. First, we have the hangman, which normally means, sacrificing, doing things that you don't care for. Then we have the chariot, that would be her chasing off to go do something else. And then we have the page of swords, which is starting a fresh battle. So this is what I'm going to say, and it may not be easy to hear. I feel she left on her own accord. I feel like that it was time um, for uh, her to move on. I do feel that you will probably, within the next year and a half, get a new cat that will remind you a lot of her.
Actually, you'd be surprised, Angel. Not the oddest question.
No.
Actually, that's a common one, is concerns over pets and concerns when people are in that, like, the pet went missing,
Yeah.
but you weren't there for the experience of the pet going missing. That's a common one.
Yeah.
Okay. Little confused. Okay. Alrighty.
All right.
Not sure where Angel's at dealing with that. That's a lot of comments.
I'm not sure what our delay is.
Okay, well, we're not being unempathetic. What he's saying is that, pets, like, people, reason, season, or life.
Yeah.
It's a very sad situation. All right. Well, we're sorry. I hope you have a wonderful opportunity elsewhere.
Right. And that probably right there happens a lot when I have to give bad news. And it's like, it's not that I'm going to be apathetic or not caring. It's not my position to be that way. I'm not a counselor. You ask the question, you're going to get the answer. And you're going to get the answer as it is. I'm not sugarcoating it. If you want sugar-coated stuff, go to Krispy Kreme. Don't come to my live stream.
Yeah. Oh, well. But hopefully the rest of our viewers and listeners understand that it's not about a lack of empathy. It's that's the reality.
Yeah.
Like, sorry you didn't get the answer you wanted.
Right.
Because it sounds like there's a whole lot going on there with a threat.
There was a lot of drama going on there, but that wasn't the question.
Yeah. Go for it. Have a nice day. Huh. I mean, what do you want us to say there, Angel? I'm sorry you didn't get the answer you wanted, and this is a common problem that every psychic runs into, or that basically a lot of customer service-based businesses run into, is, sorry, Karen, you didn't get the answer you wanted. Sucks for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all there is.
To make it feel you better. I also don't do that with the relationships. If the dude's a dud, you get told he's a dud. Not, well, you need to work on helping him change and grow. Not my style. Clearly not my style.
Yeah. And so just to update everyone, Angel has been blocked, at least for the next, looks like 5 minutes. We don't do that to silence discourse, but yeah, that was starting to get a little out of line.
And actually, I do it when it becomes harassatorial.
Yeah.
You can not agree with my reading all you want. You can move on. But when you say goodbye and then start yelling and, yelling in text at me, no, I'll put you in a timeout for 5 minutes. Like last Tuesday's show, which kind of shows we're getting a little popular, we got an idiot in here. I didn't put up with him either. Out the door he went. We got a comment after the show. That led to a porn site, and it's like, delete comment, move on.
Yeah.
Things to do.
But yeah, no, I just want to always be like transparent in that hey, we blocked someone.
Yeah.
Like point blank. Like, and if you're watching the comments, I'm sure you understand why.
Yeah,
Because no, that's not what we're here for. If you don't like the reading, go somewhere else.
exactly. Don't care.
Because I'm sure that you will find someone who will tell you exactly what you want to hear
Mm-hmm.
because they exist and they're there. You know,
Again, not my
and take
style.
the value of that as you will.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Uh, but those commonly happen. Unfortunately, that's we've been seeing a lot of Karen videos and a lot of like people being Karens, or what I call, because I don't think that that's kind of disrespectful to people named Karen. It's more so people wanting things to be only their way or only their view and only this. Sorry, not my deal. My world, my
Yeah.
YouTube channel, my Facebook pages. Don't like it? Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I've got much better listeners that enjoy my time, that enjoy coming in and talking, and enjoy coming in and being the way they are, and presenting their views. I don't always agree with them, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I include them. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of conversation. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's something we do. You brought up donut glaze. You need to explain that one.
It is not just a color in your new palette. Um, which I found that hilarious on Friday. I
Yeah,
about died in the middle of the show.
the highlighters called donut glaze. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I wear that one all the time. But no. So donut glaze is a comment you came up with. And it's sometimes you are talking about a subject and I just can't get there with it. Like
Hmm.
I can't. I'm trying so hard to not be disrespectful because I don't want to be disrespectful. Like
Hmm.
I understand that this is your belief, this is your experience, this is you.
Hmm.
But it's like I can't even begin to relate to what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Like I can't get anywhere with that, and I'm just like, alrighty.
Hmm.
So we've called that look the donut glaze.
Right.
Sometimes I have more glaze than Krispy Kreme.
Right.
Hi, I'm going to assume a G. If I'm wrong, please let me know a better pronunciation. We need your date of birth and your question. He does not do general readings. He does answer questions. So yeah, just pop that into the comments, and we'll be glad to get to you. Probably in the next couple of minutes.
Right.
Usually after we finish whatever subject we're on.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
fine donut glaze, because some of that glaze is kind of falling off your donut.
Well, it's not that it. Yeah, it has. And that's not necessarily like I'm buying in, so to speak. Like
Hmm.
I'm not like my views aren't changing, but my comprehension of yours
Hmm.
has changed.
Hmm.
Like, okay, I get it now. I get what you're talking about. Okay, I can relate it better. All right. Wow, I misread that for a second and went, God, you're old. I saw a zero at the end. I was like, 1905? Are you kidding me? But no, so 3/9/1995. Will I come out of depression?
Look here. Yeah, you do. But I feel like it's going to be a continual thing for you. Part of that has to do with you not nurturing yourself enough. Like you run yourself to your down to the wall back, and then you get into this in between stage where you don't really feel the connection. You don't really feel like everything is where it's at. So it's just adding another heap onto you, and you wear yourself out. I do feel like a lot of depression is tied to relationships and getting those a little bit more comfortable. Some of that has to be dealt with you of writing out your emotions. The other part would be important, and this is both psychic and everything else. You need sunlight. You need to get out in the sun more. You need to also be taking better care of yourself. I understand with depression, it's very hard to get up there and get moving or to just do that one thing. You have to pull that together. You have to do that one thing. If that's just get out of bed and take a shower. And don't beat yourself up for anything else that day. See it as you taking that shower or you working through this problem, you taking on the small things. And I also say, like, make a suitcase list of all your accomplishments and post it where you see it, whether it's your bedside table, the mirror in the bathroom, whatever that's just there in your view. Start working on building that self-esteem up so that your body in itself can be more so pulled in there. Okay?
Mhm. And if you're struggling to create that list, talk to a friend that you trust, that you can be like, hey.
Right. But that friend also has to be able to point out your bad points.
Well, true, but that can be really helpful because sometimes with depression you can run into that situation where like you just devalue everything you have ever done. And you can't like objectively create that list.
Right. The other thing is if you're a type of person that if you have to get up to go to work, you're out of bed and doing it, then you need to structure every one of your days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically make an appointment with you.
Right.
And I know that is one of those things I've like over the years struggled with, that concept. Like that just sounds so silly. But it's strange how sometimes like if you literally put an appointment in your calendar, we are Pavlovianly trained to honor it. You know, so sometimes that will also help to kind of push that. Like when you create that itinerary, that agenda for the day, where you need to be and what you need to do, it can help kind of push.
Right. You know, when I was dealing with the grief of losing dad and everything, I literally scheduled out shower, going to bed, waking up, what I was having for breakfast, everything. And, if I got all my things checked off on the list, I got a reward of like TV or ice cream or whatever. You have to remember to give yourself that paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We're flying out tonight.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm thinking probably Monday. I will try to do it Monday. It may end up being Sunday. We're going to be looking at the Heal Yourself reading cards and doing a flip through review. As you see, they're still covered in cellophane, so there'll be a brand new deck we'll be looking at. And that's going to be a chat with Aeson. We have Mountain Bears on
Friday. How you doing there?
Doing good. Got it to work.
Okay, what you doing?
I flipped the banner.
Whee!
There you go.
Take it away.
Yeah, take it away, Vanna.
All right, so of course we want to thank our Patreon supporters, Beverly Walker and the Crystal Lotus Shop in St. Albans, West Virginia. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor of our lovely shows, please visit pcspnetwork.com. You can find out more about the show as well as become a Patreon supporter, see the membership levels. You'll get linked up to everything.
Right. And we got some exciting news today from one of our rebroadcasters. If you're a podcast listener, Joe, what did we find out?
Yes, it sounds like we're going to be potentially on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Because they have picked up Stitcher.
Yeah, which has been a long-term broadcaster of ours, or a rebroadcaster as I call them, because we now do them live. That we will be on your Sirius XM. Currently, you can be listening to us through your Google Play, your Alexa, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on like 7, 8, 9 different networks.
Yeah.
And of course, all of those are not funded. The funders are and our supporters are, like Beverly Walker or the Crystal Lotus Shop that become Patreons.
Yeah.
So, when someone says, "Oh, I'm reporting you to YouTube," go for it. What are they going to do? Take monetization? Oh, right. We don't have that. Uh, you know,
Oh, one day.
yeah, maybe, maybe not.
One day we will be, drowning in all the Google coins
Uh
or
huh.
all the YouTube coins.
Yeah, whatever. AdSense has never been a favorite revenue stream of mine. We've yet to see it. Um, so, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I hope you kind of seen a little bit, enjoyed yourselves. Be sure to tune in Friday and stop in Monday and, hear about healing yourself reading cards. See what that's about because I've not been open to me yet.
Okay, so help me out.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of us with COVID-19 are in Blur's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what do you mean Monday after Friday's show? Because honey, it's Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay, just
Monday
making
after
sure.
Friday's show.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't having a Blur's Day moment.
No, we're not having
I was
Blur's
sitting here
Day.
going, what?
We have Aeson getting his act back together and planning to go for Monday that he always doesn't get time to do because someone wants to schedule, I don't know, a hour-long meeting.
Yes. Well, actually, you keep having meetings rescheduled. That's been the worst part of Mondays for you right now.
Yeah.
Is you're supposed to be having a meeting on a different day, and they keep rescheduling it to Mondays.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on, guys.
Chat with Aeson. This is when we have coffee and explore new decks for the month of August. We have a new store. For those that haven't followed that series, I ordered a bunch of decks off for Fiverr. Not Fiverr, Wish. So we're checking them out and seeing if they're decks I like or decks that I don't like. Decks I don't like become business cards. Decks that I like but don't want to own, i.e., I have enough postings going on to my stream in the mornings for your daily cards, will be going up on our store site to get resold. Like Moonology. This deck is going to get photographed as soon as we get the photo box up and put up there to be sold for like $4.
Absolutely. So MG wants to know about what time.
4 o'clock Mondays is when Chat with Aeson is.
All right. So, all right. Well, good night, Beverly. And thank you, Gwen. We are so glad you could be here this evening, as well as everyone else.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for a great night. See you on Friday.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.